into that particular one. Let's first check out what is coming in from the Uganda Coffee Development Authority.
Okay,
and as the UCDA has started the process of introducing a new coffee wild disease resistant in northern Uganda. The Uganda Coffee Development Authority has started the process of introducing a new coffee wilt disease resistant variety in Kitgum and Lamu districts as one of the measures to increase coffee production by farmers.
The Uganda Coffee Development Authority has started the process of introducing a new coffee wilt disease-resistant variety in Kitgum and Lamu district as one of the measures to increase coffee production by farmers. Coffee growing was introduced in Kitgum in 2015. However, very few farmers have embraced the crop, and by January this year, statistics from the UCDA Kitgum office show that only 24 farmers were growing the oldest cash crop and major foreign exchange earner for Uganda. Data from the UCDA indicates that farmers exported 6.49 million 60-kilogram bags of coffee for the 2020-2021 season compared to 5.36 million 60-kilogram bags in the 2019-2020 season. Northern Uganda contributes the lowest percent of coffee production with only 6% compared to the central region, which contributes 38%, the highest in the country. Beatrice Alela, the regional coffee extension officer with Uganda Coffee Development Authority, attributed the dismal production of coffee in the district to negligence by farmers, which leaves the plantation prone to wildfires. She says that they will introduce the new variety because it is coffee with disease-resistant high yielding and could give the farmers more returns. Alela adds that for one to be considered a model farmer, they need to dig the holes for planting the coffee and apply for the coffee cuttings. This is to ensure that the farmers with the know-how are chosen to introduce and multiply the coffee variety. She says that the new variety was mainly being planted in central Uganda, and there are only 2 nurseries for the variety in Acholi and Lango sub-regions. She encourages nursery bed operators to apply for getting coffee varieties. Alela, however, advises farmers applying to be model farmers to plant within April, so that their plants can survive the dry spell that is common between May and June.
All right, and when you look at the situation, is that the move is to see that coffee in northern Uganda also picks up, because the majority of the exports come from the central farmers of coffee.
And western growers as well. But Karamoja region has again, it's part of the northern Uganda, and where there is less considerations around coffee growing, because it could be the land at some point. But as well, we have seen areas, for example, where China tries to motivate actually its land, its soils, to make sure they build the capacity on soil for the products they want to grow there. So if you want to to plant, bananas, to plant, you want to grow maize, but your soil, Joram, does not support what you want. What you do is you go to the fertilizer entities. They have those particular fertilizers or manure that supports that particular oil. So you do the soil sampling. I don't want to take you back to that science, but there is the soil sampling that you do, and after that you try to seek experts. They come, they sample your soil and try to go plant manure there, fertilizer that will help you grow. Because I have a friend, we have a family friend. So this person ventured in apple farming.
Okay.
Where we're staying, there is no growth of,
But
that.
I heard the western Uganda people actually grow apples.
No, especially in Kabale regions, because it needs that warm, moisturized, environment. And some areas are not that way. Like they're different, even when it's just the western region. But some soils differ.
Okay.
So he wanted to venture in apple. What he did is to go and do the soil sampling and brought in experts. They planted that particular soil, just adding into that existing soil. And guess what now? He's reaping money out of that. Maybe probably we'll be following up and you will tell the story better. But what I can say around growth of coffee there and harvesting coffee is that people are seeing opportunities, Joram, because coffee is being highlighted as one of the commodities that is going to also participate. Even when you look back at the EU partnering with the PSFU, you're realizing people are taking advantage and opportunities to make sure they tap into into those traps, opportunities for them to get money. So when you're there just relaxing, how about you just go and then see where money is going to be coming from? Because if in your village, it's only you who is having that particular commodity that government wants, you stand a chance to actually be considered in the area.
Oh. And here some statistics show that coffee growing was introduced in Kitgum in 2015. And however, the biggest challenge that the Uganda Coffee Development Authority has faced is that very few farmers have picked up or have actually picked interest.
Because of the
interest,
exactly, interest.
So most of them have not picked the idea of growing coffee. Though even if they're actually launching and trying to boost coffee growing in there by starting a process of introducing a new coffee wilt disease resistant variety, because maybe the region is having a lot of it's actually not
pests
favorable
that are attacking coffee there
and are not favoring the growth, but then also the attitude towards the growth, or it goes back to the farmers who are not, I think they did not pick interest.
Exactly, it goes back to interest. You know, when you have you're in an area and you feel like, why am I even growing this? You see, only two of you are planting something or are growing something, and then buyers are not even coming from that locality. So at some point you feel all the costs are coming back to you. But not considering that, hey, you can actually chase your own market even away from that locality. So whenever you are growing commodities that are high-end, coffee is a high-end commodity. Though people just consider it as, mere growth. I'm growing it for tuition of my kids. But if you're looking at, excuse me, the bigger picture, you realize that you're going to even calculate beyond the local market, because people who are going to buy from you at the district level, at the local council level, you can go there, seek market. Now with the parish development, this is the time, this is the opportunity that people have to come up, rise up and say, hey, that one is mine. And what are you doing? What is entitled to you? Is it just a chitogo cha matoke? Is it called a chitogo?
Chitoke.
No. No, okay. Where it grows.
How do they
the plantation, but waliwo emu yonka. Only one on your.
Am I forgetting? I'll remember the name.
So you find, okay, let me put it in this context. Your home and your home has got only one.
You're saying Echiwago?
Not Echiwago. Okay, kale Echiwago, where does it grow?
No, Echiwago is
where does the Echiwago grow?
No, Echiwago ebera kunkota. Echiwago echo chojjako. Now you're talking about the plantation, eh?
Yes. The plantation, the garden, olusuku amatoko, olutegeera. Kati kuluno you don't have the lusuku, but you have
one single. Is
that what you want to be entitled or to be identified with in your area? As the parish development model comes around, developing people, helping people understand the modalities, the mechanics of agribusiness, you need to be up to point and say, hey, I need maybe to venture in tea growing, I need to venture in coffee, I need to venture in a lot, in maize, even in dairy. Not just Jora, please.
Yes. There are a lot of terminologies for banana.
No, that single stand.
I'll need to get my Uganda back.
But Uganda, I
think, when you're back in the farming situation, and it's actually challenging that you may reach in the village when even a young child of 5 years or 8 years knows what is actually gundi. Something that I've actually forgotten. I think I last got to hear that word.
This is a reality check. This morning I've checked your Uganda is now winning, but it's not a problem. It's not a problem, really. But honestly, to conclude on the issue of farmers venturing into not only coffee but a lot of agro production, make sure you seek the right information again. Don't just go because you're hearing the parish development model. They have highlighted 14 commodities that are going to be more considered here. and you want to just start dairy farming, you want to just kickstart it with coffee, you want to grow maize, but then without knowing that, hey, where you are, that environment, does it even support maize? So first of all, know where you are at. Is it a bean growing, beans growing environment? That is when you're going to determine what more you need to add in that cultivation field of yours. Otherwise, I don't want you to take a risk and then, all the cost gets back to you. That's not right.
Truth be told is that coffee growing, when you look at agricultural exports, coffee still one of the major exports there. So that means for the people of northern Uganda, you should actually pick up and try to adopt coffee. That is, try to adopt the coffee plantation as well as coffee growing.
Before we even go into a break, it feels like as a locality, because even in your area, you might bear witness. Even in my village or in my locality, we tend to have those foods. Even on a community level, those foods, those particular commodities that we say, hey, chine chalo, they grow this.
Maybe even
Most of the northern Uganda, they are into simsim, into sorghum growing.
Sorghum.
So you feel like when you're venturing into coffee, like...
Have you eaten noya?
Huh?
There's something called noya. Noya in northern Uganda.
So you feel like you're going to be a standalone, but it's good to be a standalone because it gives opportunities for you. When you're different from most of the people you're living with, you're always going to stand out. So do not fear to take risks.
It gives you that identity. And away from that, let's head to the break and we shall return with the